All right. Good evening. This is Fode again with Huts Decor, and the basic idea for this is inspiration and taking action. So, what are we talking about today? What is your joy? How do you find your joy? How do you find peace? And with that mindset, hello, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Doing good, doing good.
Say hello
Yes, ma'am.
now.
Come on. So again, how you find your peace and how you find joy. And maybe sometimes people might be wondering, well, what does this have to do with decor and the home? Well, the home is the fertilization ground, is the cultivation ground for your joy, for your peace. So without the mindset, then you cannot design your home to help you cultivate your peace, your joy. And again, where do you find your joy? Your joy is in growth. You know that feeling of unsatisfaction? Somebody coming with some loud, obnoxious thing. They always do. So, what we're talking about, your joy, your peace, it's a very simple thing. You know, a lot of us might base it on money and things because that is the normal conditioning. But then what do we find out? People got money and things and they're not satisfied, they're not happy. Because happiness comes from growth, right? Happiness comes from growth. You know that feeling that you be having after 10 years or so? You just feel like you're stuck, right? Trust me, it's because there was no growth. That's why you're feeling stuck. So what do you do to avoid that? Gotta take action. What up, guys? Come on, come on. Yeah, today seems like I got a lot of interruptions, but it's okay. We're still gonna push on forward, right? Because that's what we do. So, joy and growth. And how do you get growth? The simple way about growth is learning in your life what to say no to. Because I believe that is also something that a lot of us would be able to relate to. Sometimes we'll go through our lives and we simply struggle on what and when to say no. And it's very simple. Now, somebody met you on the street and said, what are your values? And you don't have those things ingrained in your mind, your body, your heart, and your soul. You need to do that ASAP. They say, what are your morals? and you're thinking. What they say, what are your principles and you're thinking and they're not rolling off of your tongue, then you need to work on that. Because for me, that's what I found to be the simplest way to navigate life. Because from there, it's simple. From those values, morals, and principles, you find out what your priorities are. After you find out what your priorities are, which growth should be a major part of it, then it's just a focus on that, right? And after that, the practice, the dedication, the commitment, the integrity, the faith, the trust is built up in the practice. It's gonna be hard, still hard, right? Sometimes you're gonna fall short. Is that a normal part of life? Yeah. You're gonna feel bad about that and beat yourself down? No, we don't do that. We observe, we experience, take the lesson learned, move on. That's how it happens. Then the way for it to happen. And the way for it to happen. When in your life do you say enough is enough? When do you say that? Enough is enough. You know, when we talk about faith, talking about faith in anything else but yourself. Because if you don't have faith in yourself first, then you really don't have faith in anything else. And how do you build faith? You build faith by practicing self-trust. You build faith by practicing keeping promises to yourself, right? You say, I'm going to pick up this one habit. It could be as simple as I'm going to be fixing my bed every day when I wake up. I'm not just going to roll out of bed like a chicken and be gone. You're going to direct your life with intention. You're going to be deliberate about it. You're going to be self-disciplined about it. You're going to be ruthless about it, right? Like you're going to go hard. You're going to say no to noise, distraction, wasting your time. Some of us come from communities where a lot of people might not expect anything else of you, right? Like how they say thugs, criminals, and that kind of stuff, right? The question is, I'm doing good, man. Yourself? Cool. The question is, are you gonna just sit back and they say you ain't good for nothing, and you say, yes, I'm not good for nothing, despite what most of us, our environments say? Because if it's also about our environments, yeah, there's probably not much you can turn around and look to, right? And say, oh, this is my role model, right? Probably not much, but it's okay. If you don't have a role model, you know what you want. After you develop those values, morals, and principles, that's everything you need within yourself. And I guarantee you, along the way, you'll find role models, you'll find mentors along the way. But you gotta have faith in yourself. You gotta be mindful of what you do. You gotta pay attention. Your energy. What is your frequency tuned to? Do you waste time all day and not even remember what you did? Ever since you dropped out of high school, have you ever read a book from beginning to finish? Since you left school, have you made it a habit of reading, learning, and applying that knowledge and growing? Have you done that? Because if you don't do that, that's where all that feeling, those anxious feelings, lacking, stress, worried, because you don't even have faith in yourself, right? Now, all of this to say, when this mindset is built up, and it's going to take time, right? It's not something that I'm promising anybody that it's going to be a quick scheme. Yeah, there ain't no schemes about this. There ain't no scams about it. There ain't no sugar coating about it, right? I'm not here to tell anybody or tell myself that, oh yeah, do this for 2 weeks. I don't even have a time limit on it. It's a lifelong journey. But I know there is nobody that you would meet and say, hey, do you like being broke? Do you like living paycheck to paycheck? And they'd be like, yeah, I do. No, nobody likes living paycheck to paycheck. I don't need to be a rocket scientist to figure that out. But the real question is, what are you doing to not continue living paycheck to paycheck? Do you have the courage to look at what you are doing? Because it takes courage. Because with our little egos, might not want to even admit, what's up, man? Might not even want to admit that we could be doing something wrong, right? You don't want to live paycheck to paycheck, but are you watching how you spend your money? Are you spending your money on things that are in line with your highest priorities? Do you know what your higher purpose priorities are? Do you know what those are? Because I believe most of the time we spend money on just things that don't have no benefit to us, right? Makes us feel good temporarily, and oh shit, come back to the same place, right? Come back to the same damn place. So, my intentions will hut the core, and please check out my site, It's a fairly new site where I'm learning a lot of things about, a website and how to get this message out. It is www.huts, H-U-T with a Z, hutsdecor.com. www.hutsdecor.com. Now, it's a very simple idea about growth in our lives and the building of a community where like-minded people that want growth, but we might not be too clear on how we can attain this growth. This will be the community that we're building to create conversation. People can tell you what their journey has been or what their journey is, the challenges they have faced, the obstacles, and how they overcame them to move on to higher heights. Because at the end of the day, we are going to achieve and go to those higher heights. That's the joy of life. So, hutsdecor.com. And I'm also working on the social media and doing my utmost best with my limited time. Still working at 9 to 5, but it's all good. It's all part of the journey, right? It's all part of the journey for us in the building of the life that we desire. And we know we already have that desired life inside of us. That is there. We think about it sometimes, but of course we don't think about it. We don't think about it as much as we would want to. Or we don't have the conditioning, or we cannot manage the distractions and the noise. So, the decor in the home comes in after, or let me say during, the whole process of finding your values, your morals, and your principles. So, a value could be something like production. How do you practice that in your life? How do you make sure that everything you do in your life is geared towards improving your production? In order for you to have a productive life, your home needs to be a place of deep work and focus, right? Not shallow work. Nah, people that are not aligned with you just crisscrossing the house, making noise and stuff like that. Create your environment, right? Create that environment that is meant to support you. For a lot of us, we have a lot of people around us that are conditioned. They're in the comfort zones. They have been conditioned on the illusion of security and control. So they set them in their little corners, they accept that, and they're comfortable, and that's it. Them suckers don't want anything else. Because I mean, you can't say you want something else out of life, but you don't dare jump out of your comfort zone, right? Then no, it's not gonna work like that, right? Simply, it's not gonna work like that. That's not how it works. So, faith is action. Faith in yourself, your capabilities, the opportunities, right? What you're focused on should have a burning desire to want to be better, to want to be of service to others, right? Peaceful, your spirituality, because even with that, you will find a peace that you probably never believed existed because you never had faith in yourself, right? So it takes practice, right? Like I believe I've said before, if you want to be a basketball player, you got to practice, right? Every day. But these simple principles seem very difficult for us to apply in our daily lives, right? Yeah, who wants to be a rapper? What do? You practice, right? You rap a lot, you go to places, rap for free. You want to be a comedian? Same thing, right? Anything in life that you want to do, like Nike said and them, just do it. Don't worry about being perfect. I'm not worried about being perfect here, right? I'm not worried about what people say. Because I'm doing this for a select few. I'm not doing it for everybody. So again, like I said, check out my website, subscribe to my YouTube channel, like, comment, let me get some feedback, because from that I can have an idea of how I better serve, how I can serve in a more aligned way with the audience that would be interested in this kind of information. So, the website, we're working on it every day. We're putting up blog posts, about 2 a month, and that should soon be increasing to about 2 a month posts, where you can go and get tips on home decor stuff, like how to organize your home, lighting tips, home decor ideas, decluttering, organizing your closet, organizing your mind, decluttering your mind, and decluttering your home. Because your mind and the home are one and the same thing, right? The mind and the home are one and the same thing. There ain't no difference in them. If the if the mind is cluttered, unfocused, then it's easy. You can go into the home and you can tell. Just a whole bunch of unnecessary stuff. Doesn't seem to have any type of organization. right? That kind of stuff. That's how you know. Anytime you want something, you just can't find it. It's like a stressful situation in itself to find stuff that you need around the home. So yeah, we do share those tips on the website. And as I said, eventually, as the website and the whole idea continues to grow, we will have, products and services that you can, use from the website in furtherance and on social media in furtherance of your goals. In your home, your goals, your home, one and the same thing. That's why I'm here talking about, joy. Enough is enough. When do you say no? Learn how to say no. When you clear the mind, simply means that, right? You have clarity. You can see things a little bit more clearer. You can see people that are coming around you to support you genuinely, to help you, that want your growth. And then you can also see people that are just there to distract you and waste your time. The only way you tolerate people around you to waste your time and distract you is if and only if you are not clear about what you want. Like you don't have a clarity about what you want. You don't know what your purpose is, right? So you don't know what to focus on. You cannot differentiate between living life like a whole week and not reading a book or learning something or even taking note of your own experiences in life, right? Because I remember those days when things would happen and I just get into this emotional state, a reactive state. I'm not still, I'm not observant. So it happens to all of us. And I'm very grateful that I got to a point in my life after all the experiences that, now I'm just still, right? I'm just observing. Everything in life, there ain't no good or bad. Everything happens for a reason, and everything that happens, there's a lesson to be learned from that, right? So just keep on building, one brick at a time, one step at a time. Sometimes you might take a step forward and kick back 2 steps. That's okay. Don't give up. But all of these things that I'm talking about, I bring them in to the home and tie them in the home. How do you design your home to keep your mind focused on the promises that you made to yourself? How do you keep an organized life in your home? How do you declutter your home? Because if the home is scattered, your focus is scattered. The energy is off in your home. And a lot of us, that's why we're just stuck, right? We're just stuck. You're allowing all types of different people to come into your house that have negative energy. You're allowing people around you that have negative energy. Design your environment and be ruthless about it. Not everybody is going to understand because, some people, like I said, since they're conditioned to stay in the comfort zone, if that's where they want to stay, leave them there. If that's where you don't want to be, It's not no judging, right? It's not saying we're better than them, right? It's none of them things. Our choices and people's choices, right? So we have to learn how to respect people's choices. Likewise, they respect our choices in love and respect, right? Like, if you want to stay in the comfort zone and complain, and you the brother every time you come around, you're begging to stick a cigarette, or you're jumping in the rotation and you never have something to put in the rotation, or you come into a potluck, a dinner, or, any type of gathering, and you come in there and you just come in with your empty hands swinging. Some people are comfortable in those zones. Some people are somewhat well taken care of in those zones. So, but for the most of us, I don't want to be that person, right? I know. I mean, maybe a lot of us have them. I have them in my family, right? Like, brothers don't do shit, nothing, right? And the family takes care of them. And that's what they design their lives to be. And that is okay. If I say that's not what I designed my life to be, I got to do something. I got to learn something. I'm curious. And it's only out of curiosity that you can build upon growth. There ain't no other way. We got to have the courage to look at ourselves. Ask the tough questions. Take upon yourself, make it a habit of daily reflection, weekly reflection, monthly reflection. There are questions out there, and eventually I would get into that on the website to post up the questions that I use for my own my daily, weekly, and monthly reflection, self-examination. It's something like, what mistake did you make last week? Questions like that, right? What was your experience last week? What lessons did you learn from those experiences last week? What were your 3 top priority goals of last week? Were you able to follow through with them? If not, why do you think you were not able to follow up with your goals? Because these are the questions that you ask yourself, and you start answering, and you practice them consistently, and you start seeing the pattern. Then the pattern pops up in your face. So these questions are not meant to make you feel bad or make you feel down. So you should not be fearful of them, because I understand sometimes it is outright just scary to just, start practicing it a couple weeks, a few weeks, into a month, 2 months. You're setting goals, but you're not meeting them, right? But that's the point. It's okay. Be truthful to yourself, right? Ask yourself the question, what were your 3 main top goals? And so as the patterns start to build up and pop in your face, you also start to realize most of us don't even know how to set goals. That's why most of us don't meet our goals. That's why maybe 90-something% of people that set New Year's resolutions don't meet the goals. Number 1, we don't know how to set goals. Number 2, the house, your home, is not set up to support those goals. You did not design your home to help you support those goals. So I will be talking to my team that manages the website for me. And, goal setting and tying that into how to set up your home to support those goals would be the next blog. So watch out for that. www.hutsdecor.com. Subscribe. Go to the website. Subscribe to our newsletter email list. Subscribe to the social media. I'm also working on the Pinterest, the Instagram, and I believe Facebook. So those will be coming up shortly. So I'm just, you know, doing what I do out here, try to spread this message and make sure I can reach and touch as many people as I can. And I'm hoping that I'm doing the right thing and getting the right message out. So again, like I said, like, comment, share, give me feedback, let me know what I'm doing. If you think it could be done this way in a better way, please. I'm wide open, bro. Like, I'm not closed-minded. I don't have a fixed mindset. I'm open to, rejection. This word is always tough for me. Criticism, you know what I'm saying? People critiquing me. I'm not worried about that. Bring it on. Let me know what you think. Let me know how you see it, right? Because that will help all of us. Like I said, my intention here is to build a community. And one other thing too, like when I started reading books, most of the time, so again, on the website, I'm gonna, start talking about books that I read and, my interpretation as to how it would work for everyday regular people, right? Because most of these books and everything else, they're written by this Yale and Harvard, the Ivy League school people. And I'm not saying anything is wrong with that, but most of the books are written by those people, and their experiences are very different from us. So if you got somebody from Yale and Harvard talking about productivity, and they're talking about how they use a particular, system to like run a 300-man team, design team at Google, I'm looking at myself and be like, what does that mean to me, right? It don't mean nothing to me. What does it mean? But if you focus on the basis of the principle, you can find something that you apply to yourself. Because I started working on this habit of reading since I came out of school a couple years ago. And it wasn't until recently that I was able to meet a goal of, say, I'll pick up one book and say I'll read it by the end of the month and finish it, right? Because sometimes, like when I started this a few years ago, I'll pick up one book and it'll take me a year to finish one book, and that's okay. But I stuck with it because that's what I wanted to do. So I'm also going to have a section on the website and even on my social media to talk about books that I have, read, and what my notes were on those books and how we can apply those principles on the basis of it, the foundational aspect of it, and make it our own, right? I don't have to be an executive CEO for a Fortune 500 company to want to have or live a productive life, right? I don't need $1 billion to be happy in my life. Once you are doing something in your life, learning, because I tell you, when you start reading, things start popping up in your head that you never thought about. You be like, what? Where did this one come from? But that's how it happens though. But you gotta be curious, right? You gotta make it a habit. You have to make it a habit. So again, before I end this one today, I say, love yourselves, love one another, focus on yourself. And all the time, when you try to focus on yourself, you're always going to have people that will tell you that it is selfish. Watch them, because they know no better, right? Because of the simple fact of the matter remains that I cannot be good for other people if I'm not good for myself first. I cannot. keep promises to other people if I'm not keeping promises to myself in the first place? So when we get caught up in between, finding it difficult to focus on ourselves because other people are telling us if we focus on ourselves, that means we're selfish. So we're trying to satisfy both, areas, right? I'm trying to focus on myself, but at the same time, I'm not trying to be, looking like a selfish person. Nah, it's not gonna work, bro. Focus on yourself and don't give a damn. If they love you, they will be there. If they don't, that's how you know, right? Then that means you never needed them in your life in the first place. And it's okay. Because, like they say, if you travel, most of the time, if you got to do a good thing, you're going to travel alone. And people are going to want to come after the fact, like they see the growth, right? They see the, the benefits of the practice or the habits or the way how you designed your home, how it's working out for you, right? Aha! Now they want to come around, right? And it's okay. It's your decision, right? So I can say I want to forgive you and let's move on. Or I can say, no, I don't have time for that. That's my choice. So be aware, because anytime you say yes to something, you are saying no to something at the same damn time, right? So when we're talking about choices, distractions, managing yourself, you don't manage time, you manage yourself. That's what you do. You don't manage time. You cannot manage time. So all this fallacy and illusion about time management, nah. Anytime you try to manage that, that's why you find out you're not doing that. But if you're taking notes of what you do, you'll see the pattern of what you do day in and day out. And you can start seeing where your time is being wasted, right? Like, oh my God, I'm just on social media all day, wasting my time, right? Come on, wasting my time, right? Social media got a lot of good stuff. I could not even believe it, right? Yeah, AI is a good thing, because guess what? Bro, I fixed my social media feeds. That joint learned quick. Them dumb cheating shows, dumb, drama things, stupid stuff. I just cut all that stuff out of my social media feeds. And once I was giving that thing the feedback, that thing learned. And I was amazed. It learned though, so we good, right? So I'll leave it here for now, right? Let's be mindful. Let's be still and observant. Let's not let people play with our emotions, but, self-mastery, that's all tied into what we're talking about, knowing yourself, right? Having that stillness and that observant eye to observe when things are just trying, environments around you are just trying to get you worked up. Because every time you're worked up, you lose focus on what is important. And that's their goal. That's simply their goal. To always keep you in an anxious state, to always keep you in a reactive state.